here today is remember and honor America's fallen heroes. First, I would like to thank my friends Phil and Debbie Yin, Mr. John Schwab, and members of the Memorial Day Ceremony Committee here in Fountain Hills for this great honor of speaking with you today. 68 years ago, on a dusty dirt road in South Korea, a 10-year-old girl was fleeing from the invasion of North Korean communists. Suddenly, she heard a plane buzzing in the sky. She looked up and saw an American star on the side of the plane. At the sight of the American star, she let out a huge sigh of relief and thought to herself, "The good people are here to save us." That little girl was my mom. Even to this day, her sentiments still rings true to me. My name is Susankee, and I am a Korean American. Thanks to these great Americans, my parents survived the Korean War, and I was born to a free nation of South Korea. Today, I stand here as a testament to all the brave young men who fought and sacrificed their lives in the Korean War. It is because of their courage and countless sacrifices that I can stand here in front of you today. These brave young Americans left everything behind to fight for and save the people of South Korea from the invasion of North Korean communists. In the first several weeks of the war, the American troops were sent in without adequate support, and thus thousands lost their lives in the initial battles of the Korean War. Many Americans were captured and made to march in what came to be known as the Tiger Death March. During the Tiger Death March, North Korean communists brutally executed thousands of Americans who could not keep up in the long march to the prison camps of North Korea. Soon more reinforcements were sent in, and within a few months, the Americans turned the tide of the war with a victorious Incheon landing. They were finally able to push the North Korean communists out of South Korea, and the battles continued north of the 38th parallel into North Korea. In one of the coldest winters of Korean history, temperatures fell to 40 below zero as Americans fought at the Battle of Chosin Reservoir. They fought against two big enemies, the onslaught of the Chinese communists and the freezing cold. Thousands of Americans froze to death and perished in North Korea, and they are still there today. Those who were captured were taken to North Korean prison camps, where they were starved to death and denied medical care. A local Korean War veteran named Mr. Arden Rowley is a former prisoner of war. He told me that they had to bury their own dead in the prison camps. They were not given any shovels to dig the graves, so they had to dig with rocks in the frozen ground to bury their fellow Americans. The fact that Mr. Rowley and others survived this brutal and inhumane treatment by the North Korean communists is truly a miracle and a testament to the strength of the human spirit. For 3 years, the battles raged in the hills and mountains all over Korea, taking the precious lives of over 36,000 Americans and over 8,000 who are still missing in action. For the past 6 years, I've had the great honor of meeting many Korean War veterans like Mr. Rowley. It is through the sharing of their war experiences that I have learned so much of all that they suffered and endured during the Korean War. As an expression of my gratitude to these great American heroes, I am currently writing a book of personal stories of America's Korean War veterans and Korean War fallen heroes. In addition to meeting many Korean War veterans, I also have the honor of knowing many families whose loved ones were killed during the war. For the families of the missing, not a day goes by when they don't think about their loved ones. They wonder what happened to their loved ones, whether their loved ones would ever be found, and what their last moments of life must have been like. These questions haunt them every single day. Their pain, their loss, and their sacrifices are all very real to me. They're also very real to me because their loved ones gave their lives to give me my life. American blood was shed in Korean soil and gave rise to millions of Koreans like me who can live in freedom today. About a month ago, I traveled to South Korea with 24 American Gold Star families whose loved ones were killed during the Korean War. The South Korean government invited them to be honored for the sacrifices their loved ones made. It was an incredible honor and an incredible experience for me as a Korean to be returning to my birth country with the families of these heroes who made my life possible. As we traveled throughout Seoul into the areas near the DMZ, the families saw the flourishing and prosperous country which rose out of the sacrifices of their loved ones. As we went to various events and ceremonies, it was so heartwarming to see many Koreans come up to the families to thank them. These American families received the many honors due to them by the very people their loved ones died to save. Today, I'm wearing a necklace given to me by Mr. Peter Griffin. This dog tag has a picture of Mr. Griffin's older brother, Corporal John T. Griffin. Corporal Griffin was a paratrooper with the 187th Airborne Regimental Combat Team and was dropped behind enemy lines on Good Friday of 1951. Just 2 days later, on Easter Sunday, March 25th, Corporal Griffin was killed in combat. Mr. Griffin told me that he wanted to find and visit the hill where his brother died prior to our trip to Korea. He told me, "I just want to see what my brother last saw before he died." This absolutely broke my heart. So with much prayer and with the help of a good friend, we were able to locate the hill where Corporal Griffin was killed. During our recent trip to Korea, Mr. Griffin and I were able to stand on the hill where his brother John Griffin and 9 other paratroopers were killed on March 25th, 1951. As I stood on that hill where Corporal Griffin and others were killed, I was overwhelmed by tremendous sorrow, gratitude, and respect. It was a very emotional experience and also the greatest honor of my life for me to stand on those hallowed grounds with the brother of this great American hero who died to save it. My standing there on that hill as a Korean person living in freedom, free from communist tyranny, was the greatest testament to the sacrifices made by Corporal Griffin and so many others. Knowing the names, the faces, the stories, and the families of these fallen heroes have forever changed the way I look at South Korea and my own life. As I look upon the many hills and mountains of South Korea, I saw the faces of so many American heroes who shed their blood there and laid down their lives for me and all Koreans. Their sacrifice will forever remain in the landscape of South Korea by the blood they shed. Knowing of their sacrifice has also changed the way I see my own life. Every day, I thank God for America and for the life of freedoms I enjoy. I thank God that I was not born in a place like North Korea. We all have heard about the massive starvation, total absence of freedom, and the pervasive mind control of the North Korean regime. My family and I could easily have been in that place, oppressed by this brutal and evil regime, if not for the brave Americans who saved my family during the war. Every day is a day I remember these heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice to give me the life of freedoms I cherish. I thank God and I thank these fallen heroes for the precious gift of freedom they gave to me. So for me, every day is Memorial Day. And every day is a day to remember these fallen heroes who gave me my very life. Throughout America's history, brave Americans have shown their willingness to die, defending the freedom of others in places like Bellawood, Normandy, Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, Chosin Reservoir, Pork Chop Hill, Heartbreak Ridge, Hague, Quezon, Hamburger Hill, Kuwait, Somalia, Baghdad, Fallujah, and the list goes on and on. I believe what drove them to lay down their lives was a belief that there were things worth dying for. Freedom was worth dying for. Saving their buddies in battle was worth dying for. Defending their country and other countries from oppression was worth dying for. There is a saying that the true soldier fights, not because he hates what is in front of him, but because he loves what is behind him. Their lives had a purpose greater than themselves in service to others. As long as there are heroes like them, there needs to be more of us who will always remember and honor them. I encourage everyone to think about these fallen heroes every time we give thanks for our freedoms. Thus, as you see me standing here today, I hope you see the sacrifices of so many Americans who came before me to give me my life. To the Koreanwar veterans and Korea defense veterans in our audience today, I thank you with all my heart for your service in Korea. It is because of your service that millions of Koreans like me can live in freedom today. To all Gold Star families who have lost their loved ones, I extend to you my deepest condolences and also the deepest of my gratitude. I am honored to stand here before you today to represent the millions of people from other countries around the world who your loved ones saved. Your loved ones' sacrifices will never be forgotten by the people they saved. We are forever grateful for the sacrifices your loved ones made. I hope you take great pride in knowing that your loved ones left behind for us this most precious gift of freedom. Thank you all for being here today, and God bless you all, and may God always bless this great country, the United States of America.